Hello, OT friends, and welcome to the Uncommon OT series. My name is Patricia Modis. I'm the Transitions OT, and I'm your host. So today, I am super excited to introduce you to our guest, Dr. Maria Banks. Maria is an uncommon OT who is the owner of The Health Mamas, a company that she started to help pregnant and postnatal women safely meet their health and fitness goals. Maria is a Doctor of Occupational Therapy with over 10 years experience helping adults achieve their functional goals and a certified pre- and postnatal fitness specialist certified by AFPA. Maria is also a mom of one, recently giving birth to her healthy baby boy. Maria combines her background as an occupational therapist and a pre- and postnatal fitness specialist to provide a holistic approach to help new and expectant moms meet their health and fitness goals. She provides a variety of services, including health coaching, nutrition support, personal training, and group fitness classes to help women physically, mentally, and emotionally along their maternal health journey. Maria has always been interested in fitness and maintained a strong fitness regimen. During her pregnancy, she took necessary steps to maintain a strong health regimen and felt inspired to help other women through their journey. She became the resource that she wished she had during her pregnancy and postpartum journey. So she strives to empower women and build a community of women who want to take charge of their maternal health. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you Dr. Maria Banks. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you so much for having me on today.
You're welcome. Super excited to share with the rest of the OT world the type of OT work that you do. So let's get on with it. But first, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Share with us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I am an OT. I graduated from University of Illinois at Chicago, and I've been practicing a little over 10 years now. My doctoral program was actually targeted towards individuals who've had stroke, and I created a program to help them with their meet their goals as far as like community integration and participation. So I actually created a continuing education course for other OTs to get into that field. So that's more of my background, more of the neuro world.
Yes.
But I'm also really, really into fitness. I've been working out my entire life, my entire adult life. I really enjoy it. I've always wanted to be a personal trainer, but just never really jumped into it until after getting pregnant. My baby boy is 7 months now, almost 7 months now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So when I got pregnant with him is when I really decided to take that leap into more of the fitness world and get into that area a little bit more and helping other moms with that journey as well.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for sharing with us a little bit about your background and a little bit about how you kind of got into this work. And I love that you're able to blend your neuro experience and background with something that you're so passionate about, fitness. So tell us a little bit about that uncommon work. You've started an OT entrepreneurial venture recently. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, because part of why we have this platform is to share with other OTs, really your path and how you've taken on, this sort of evolution into your OT career and, really hoping to inspire others by that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So, as an OT, we just have a variety of skills, right? We learn so much in school. We learned how to gather that information about the background of a person. So like their occupational profile, we learn what's important to the person, how to develop goals that are important to that person to help them meet their daily occupations. And so once I became pregnant, became a mom, I realized, fitness was one of my occupations that I really, really enjoyed. But there wasn't a lot of information locally here to help me safely meet my fitness goals. Mm-hmm. And so that's what initially sparked the idea. So I started to look for a certification course to see, because I wanted to make sure that I was doing things correctly. Like I just didn't want to go out, as an OT, like, oh, I can teach you and be fitness. I wanted to be have more of a specialty. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I obtained my certification. I actually got that while I was pregnant. And really just wanted to, as I'm developing my business, I look and I'm like, I can really combine my background, like I said, obtaining that, the background of a person, developing realistic goals, developing safe goals, mm-hmm. To help them with that participation in fitness, help them in health, and look at their overall maternal health. And so I just really started combining the two, and then that's how the Health Mamas was born. Initially, I was taking more of a fitness track. I'm mm-hmm. like, oh, I'm just going to teach them how to exercise. And it's like, no, I have over 10 years of experience in a doctor in OT. Like, I need to use my expertise in that area as well within my business because it is beneficial.
Yes.
Especially like I help some moms with like pain management and like setting up the home, like more ergonomics, more mm-hmm. proper body mechanics, those types of things, really coaching them and teaching them on strategies to help with pain management. And so that's how the health coaching part came about.
Got it. So I love that, you sort of identified this need just based on your own experience, right? And you're kind of developing the services that you're providing just based on sort of that need that you felt was just really there and was not being met, right? Can you tell us, I know you've already described a little bit, but tell us a little bit more about the population that you serve. I know you serve moms, but I know you serve a wide variety of moms in the pre and the post natal portions. And just perhaps, adding some more of those needs that you may be addressing with these moms in different stages.
I actually work with pregnant women and women who are in the postnatal period. And it's kind of hard to define the postnatal period, right? Like, I feel like after having a baby, you're always postpartum. If you don't address the issues right when it happens, you still might have lingering effects that may have happened as a result of your pregnancy. So I really don't discriminate to just 1 or 2 years postpartum. If you had a baby, you feel like you're having, complications, or if you're having something that you want to address, I'm all for it. Also for women, I've been doing a lot of research. When you get your doctorate, you're a research queen.
Yes.
So, I've been doing a lot of research on the effects of exercise in order to help to get pregnant. So some women who may be trying exercise has been beneficial. So I've been trying to reach out to more of that population as well, just encouraging them to do exercise, especially for some women who aren't really into exercise or don't know, certain things that they should do or whatever. So helping those moms to be.
Yes.
That's really, it's a broad population.
Yes, but it's, it sounds like, again, there's a need depending on whatever stage of their post-pregnancy they're at and depending on what they're going through. So this is going back to, again, the client-centered care, right? And really meeting the person where they're at and depending on what it is that they need. So thanks for, sharing with us a little bit about that. Can we switch gears a little bit and talk about your path? You talked about pregnancy, your own pregnancy as being your main motivator, and you're also a little bit about your neuro background. But is there anything else that you want to add as far as, how you were able to get to this path coming from neuro and sort of, switching gears? I think that's an important piece that a lot of our listeners might be interested in learning about.
Yeah. So it was kind of, I don't want to say a difficult switch, but it was just more of a change in mindset. So it's a funny story. When my best friend, she has a 5-year-old, and she would come work out with me. She's like, I love how motivated you are, and I want you to motivate me, He's like, you should really get into training moms and pregnant women. And this was like 4 years ago. And I'm like, no, I don't know about that, because I didn't understand the need. Like, until you're actually pregnant, until you go through it, you have no idea like how different it is. And so, when you talk about my path, I was going to like a group training class type of deal. And I was still going there. And, the further along I got in my pregnancy, I'm like, I can't do certain things. And he wasn't really sure how to guide me into safely completing the exercises. And he told me, well, just don't do it. And I'm like, well, I can do it. I just need some modifications.
Yes.
And so that's really what took me there. And so making that switch from just like a clinical OT to more of a trainer, I feel like it just kind of came naturally, because I'm so used to working with clients, working with their families, training them, in neuro, you're doing a lot of neuromuscular retraining, or re-education. So I do a lot of training already as an OT. And so the switch just kind of came naturally, just a different population.
Yes. So I love when you said the word modification, and that's kind of when it clicked for you, right? Because we are the experts in that, and really adapting activities or even situations so that it could meet that person's needs. So I love that. And again, driving the point home again that, our skills are so versatile and could really be applied in a variety of settings.
Absolutely.
Yes. So how about the entrepreneurial venture? Because I know, most neuro OTs probably work in a hospital, right? Or skilled nursing facility of some kind. And here you're running your own business. Yes. So can you share with us how that happened? How did that, what was the connecting bridge through all of that?
Yes. So I actually talked to a lot of colleagues, and we discussed how we aren't really trained in the business aspect in grad school, right? We don't really learn about that. I remember taking one business course, and it was more about like the manager side. So like if you work in like a skilled nursing facility or a hospital, how to be more of a manager, but not necessarily be an entrepreneur. So I will definitely say that was a weak spot for me. But this is how I knew starting a business was meant to be. So one of my really good friends that I went to high school with, she is an entrepreneur, and she started a program called Mamapreneur. And it's more of a coaching program to help moms who want to be an entrepreneur.
Fabulous.
And this is how I knew. She launched it as soon as I found out I was pregnant. And I told her, I'm like, hey, I wouldn't mind doing that, if I thought of a business idea or something. And literally, as I got pregnant, as I'm going through this, wanting to start my own business, she launched that program. And so having a mentor or someone who can really lead you and guide you is so important, especially if you have no idea about the business world like myself. I actually got in touch with a PT as well who started her own program, and she literally just laid out the blueprint for me. She's like, this is what you need to do. And I didn't know this woman at all. She reached out to me. I don't even know how she found me or anything, but she said, this is what you need to do, told me the legal side of it, because she had went through it already. And so she become my mentor. She's actually located here in Cincinnati. She moved here from the DC area.
Okay.
But she moved here and she found my name some kind of way, and she wanted to help me. So like I said, she has become my mentor. So finding people who have already done it, people who can help more with the business side is so important when starting a business, because things could be tricky. Like I said, the legal side of it as well. We don't know that part. So
yes, you're absolutely right. They don't, I think maybe today or nowadays, they teach that in OT school now, or there's a little bit more emphasis on that. But I agree. When I went to OT school, 500 moons ago, I remember a book. I had a textbook called The OT Manager, and exactly as you mentioned, it was teaching you how to really be more of like an administrative role, but not necessarily as an entrepreneur. I probably still have that book somewhere in the basement, but it was a big, thick one. But yeah, and, I was telling someone very recently that, here I was an OT school, really having this passion for mental health. And because we weren't really encouraged to, be entrepreneurs or to really go into other types of settings, here I was an OT in mental health. I found myself a mental health job in a hospital. Right? Super medical model, not at all what I'm doing today. But that was a direction that we were really being directed at the time. So, again, precisely why we have this platform, so that other OTs can understand that there are other directions to take. And, yours is such a great example for that. So, anything else that you'd like to add about the clients that you serve? I'm thinking, would you mind sharing with us, what a typical OT or what a typical session might be like? I want to just call it an OT session because I know that you're blending, all of your expertise actually in the work that you're doing right now. But yeah, what is a typical day like for you? And, what types of activities do you do? What types of goals? I know they're fitness, but what are, just to give our listeners a clearer perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So my days aren't really typical.
That's very typical for an OT.
Exactly. They're pretty different. So some days I run just strictly like group fitness classes. I offer about 4 a week right now. I'm hoping to do more. But
awesome.
I do that more as a support group more than just fitness. Obviously exercising, but being a mom can be tough at times. And so having that extra support is extremely beneficial. And so I kind of encourage that collaboration, through fitness.
Yes.
Some days I do that. Some days are spent with health coaching. So just checking in on my clients, seeing how their progress is, seeing if they have any questions or, any concerns, like if they're dealing with like any new pain or anything that might be going on that's new for them. I also do virtual training, so online fitness classes and in-person fitness classes. And the way it works for the exercise plans, I develop them. So some days I'm developing their fitness plans. All the plans are custom for them. So nice. I had to make sure that it wasn't just a blanket fitness like program that every woman gets, because everyone's pregnancy is different.
Yes.
And so they need things that are more customized. I mean, some women, they just have pretty easy pregnancies, but some don't. And some need something that's specific to them. So some days I spend developing those fitness plans as well.
Okay.
So, kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but it's great how it's so tailored, right? Again, super tailored to the individual, and that your days are varied. I love having my weeks varied, and sort of doing different things. And so you're spending all of your time on your business at this time, or are you still doing any other OT work other than?
So I do PRN still in a SNF setting.
Okay.
Just to keep my clinical skills up and to get out of the house a little bit. But I have an almost 7-month-old now, so sometimes it's good to be around adults.
Yes. And it's, again, a wonderful thing that you can do that, right? I can just do a few hours doing PRN work here or not, right? And it's, again, the other flexibility that our jobs as OTs really offer us, that I think is just a really beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially like I just, launched my business, more like April, May. I mean, like when I really made it public, I've had it, the idea for a while, but I really made it public in May, actually. And so while it's getting off the ground, it's good that I have, the extra work and the extra from the PRN. So the flexibility is great.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you make it happen realistically, right? Because it's, again, you have a wealth of experience in neuro and acute care. Like you must kind of miss that work too from time to time, right? Kind of want to reconnect with it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I spent so much time in there. And like I said, I did my whole, doctoral program on that. So it's definitely a passion of mine for sure. So it's good to still go out and help individuals in that setting.
Great. Can we shift gears a little bit and talk money?
Okay.
Right? Just, again, something that our listeners are probably curious about. How are you able to make it work? Maybe we could start with your services. How do you charge for services, and what do you charge for your services?
Yeah, so my services, I'll start with my group fitness classes. It's just like $15 a class. So it's very minimal charge for moms who want to come in the group setting. As far as my custom plans, it really depends on the needs of my clients. I have, some clients who truly they're really into fitness. They know what they're doing and they just need, a little extra support. So for some, I actually work with someone in San Francisco and she knows what she's doing. And so I created a plan for her, and that plan I charged her $75 for, because I'm not meeting with her on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And so that's how I kind of develop it based on the need and on how many times we need to meet in person. But everything is private pay. They're like, oh, you could try insurance. And I'm like, it's just too much to go through. And so I just, charge my rates like that through private pay. And everything's custom. So.
Yes. And that's great to know too, right? Because then, there is always that insurance route, but I agree with you that it does, it just takes away from the joy of things just because it becomes such a burden sometimes, right? And, I was talking with someone else the other day about how, this allows you for you to really just focus on the work that you're doing and on the goals that you have with your clients. And, despite charging on a cash basis, do you find that you're having difficulties getting referrals, or are you finding clients?
Oh yeah, I don't. People really don't have any reservations about paying out of pocket. Because if you like a gym membership or a practitioner, you pay that way. You don't pay through insurance or anything. So people, they're willing, definitely. Yeah.
Great. That's also so good to know, right? Because I think, part of why folks want to go through insurance is because people sort of rely on that as a payment source. And I know for certain things, but in your particular case, it's almost like investing in going to a yoga class or some kind of class, right? So super great to know. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course, no problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about some recent successes, some highs, and some recent lows or challenges that you've had in your entrepreneurial venture or in your new role?
Yeah. So honestly, I've had a lot of highs recently, which is great.
Yay!
This space has allowed me to meet so many interesting people like yourself. Just talking to you, our conversations have been great, very inspiring. But I've also talked with other people who want to collaborate and want to reach a larger audience. So I'm actually working on something right now where I'm collaborating with a company who wants to bring my work to more moms. And so I'm really, really, really excited about that. I've been filming a lot of exercise videos. So I've been extremely busy with that within the last week or so.
I love them. I watch them. I love them.
Oh, thank you. Those are my clips, my little clips. But I'm doing full exercise videos, like I'm teaching a class or something. So you'll be able to know soon.
Fantastic. I mean, I particularly like the ones when you were still pregnant because, it was just, wow, this lady, look at her, and she's doing this. And, so I think just in having that visual, it's already empowering, right? Convincing someone that, this is really possible. And, I think that you're visually portraying exactly what your mission is, right? There's a match to what you're showing your audience and what you're saying to your audience, which I also really love.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. That means a lot to me. It's kind of difficult putting yourself out there. Number one, with starting a business, but then you really are putting out, your passion and hoping that people resonate with that.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that feedback from you, and I've heard it from some other people, it makes me know that I'm doing the right thing and that I am helping others, which is what I want, initially or eventually to do, is to help others. And so that means a lot. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, there's such an authenticity to what I'm seeing. And, I've also been talking with you. So, and you just see both of them match together. It's like, wow, this is really great. So congratulations on this, collaboration with this company. I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that. But I'm not surprised. Again, they're seeing this authenticity from you, right? And they understand that that's a really good way to kind of communicate your service to those out there. So yay for the successes. How about challenges? I'm sorry to, bring it back to be a downer, but realistically, there are challenges, right?
There's always challenges. Yeah. Honestly, like the content creation has, initially it was, cool. I had all these ideas, but now it's almost becoming like a chore. And it's like, sometimes it can be a bit stressful. Try to think of things and constantly stay on top of the new trends that are on Instagram and seeing what people like, seeking out, to try to get followers, to try to get clients. It's a lot. Keeping up with my brand, the image, how it looks, like everything.
Yes.
That's definitely a challenge for me because that's not my, expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creative, but to a certain extent.
Yes.
And so trying to do that, trying to make it aesthetically pleasing and but still making sure that it's portraying the knowledge and, what I am, my expertise and what I am the message that I'm trying to send to people.
Yes.
It can be exhausting.
Yes. So how are you dealing with that exhaustion, or how are you dealing with, just staying on top of things? Yeah.
So honestly, I've learned to kind of take a step back at times.
And having a baby, having a 7-month-old baby. Sorry, I just have to squeeze that in. It's a big one.
Seriously, I can't do it all, and I'm a mom first. I'm still kind of working part-time, and just really recognizing that, okay, you might not be able to keep up on all these trends and post every day. And that's okay. Just giving myself grace and understanding that it's a marathon, not a race, not a sprint. And so taking that time for myself and really practicing self-care. I preach self-care to my other moms, so I have to practice what I preach,
Yes.
And so I just, at times I do get a little overwhelmed and a little stressed, but then I remind myself, you're doing great. You're getting the message out there. Don't put so much pressure on yourself and just relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you really are putting the message out there, and your message is super clear. And I'm not a pregnant mom, and it was effective for me. So I can just imagine how effective it is for those who are pregnant moms, right? So there's a lot, you said you're sort of like this research fanatic now. There's your specialty is also so broad, right? How do you stay on top of what you know, or how do you stay on top of the things within your new role now?
So when I took my certification program, they give us a, reading lists and everything. So I go through that, and then I look at their sources that they've cited. And so then I go look at those research articles. And I also set up Google alerts on my email. And so I set up one for pregnant fitness, postpartum fitness, and maternal health. And so I get emails daily. And then I look through those articles, see what's new, see what research has come up about, maternal health, which is huge right now. As Black maternal health is such a huge topic right now. So I see a ton of articles in relation to that. And so that's just how I stay on top of everything and making sure that I am providing the right knowledge to my followers and to my clients.
Yes.
Because I don't want to send out the wrong message, because it's pregnancy and being a mom is already a challenge. You don't want to give misinformation,
Yeah.
Making sure that I stay on top of it with that.
I'm happy to hear that more research is being done when it comes to just the experiences of Black moms, because that's a different experience and it's worthy of research. And it's great that you're, staying on top of that stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any misconceptions or common myths that you'd like to maybe demystify today when it comes to your role?
So I work with both, pregnant and postnatal women, but my passion is pregnant women, just because we're told, to sit back and relax. Not weird, because I'm not pregnant right now. We're told to just sit back and relax, take a load off, and honestly, that's not the case. It's actually, you should be doing the complete opposite if you have a healthy pregnancy. I don't want, women have complications when they're pregnant. And so those women who don't have necessarily a healthy pregnancy, you absolutely should take precautions. But for those women who are healthy, who have healthy pregnancies, no complications, exercise is highly, highly, highly encouraged. And that comes from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. They recommend 30 minutes of exercise a day, every day. And it just because it has so many great benefits, like it decreases the risk of gestational diabetes, which is the most common pregnancy complication, especially in my community. It's such a huge percentage, and it can decrease that by, I believe it's 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, and it can also help, decrease the risk of C-section. It can help decrease labor times, and so it has many benefits, and it just keeps you healthy.
Yes.
So it keeps you strong. You lose muscle mass, like in your glutes, your hamstring, when you're pregnant. And so keeping up that muscle mass to help support that extra weight that you're carrying is important. I mean, it's beneficial, I would say. I don't want to say it's needed, but it's beneficial for sure.
Yes. I mean, even just those 3 or 4 reasons that you named right there are already, I think, sufficient reasons to get moving for 30 minutes a day. And I'm sure there's tons more.
Yeah. And even like mood, energy level, there release endorphins, and with your mood, you're always tired when you're pregnant. And so working out can definitely help to increase your energy levels for sure.
That's a great thing to demystify.
I'm trying so hard. I'm like, come on, ladies.
Well, do you have any advice for our listeners who are, interested in going into an entrepreneurial venture like yourself? Do you have any specific advice for them on how they could do it, on ways that they can make it easier for themselves to do it?
Absolutely. So what I'll say, if you have an idea, go for it. Don't sit on it. Before this, I had several ideas and I never went for it just out of fear. But if you have something that you are passionate about, do it. And what I would say is do the research first, look at the need, look to see, if there's anything else like what you want to do out there. And kind of use that as your model for what you want to do, but still make it your own. Also look for mentors. Mentors were so beneficial to me. Like I was saying, my one friend who started the Mompreneur program, and she had people that would come and talk and help us through things. And then the one PT who reached out to me, who is now like a mentor to me, I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. It's just too much. So you need help.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to ask for help, because you're going to need it.
Yes.
And so those would be my advice for you. Go for it and do the research, find out the need, and also get support and start networking and get some assistance.
Well, thank you so much for that. And it sounds like, there's all sorts of support out there too, right? You're able to find sort of like the clinical support, and you're also able to find the support to sort of set up your business, right? Yeah. And you put yourself out there.
Yes.
There's also the other piece. Yeah. Right. So now, yeah. So now that here you are, right? You've started your business and, you're how many months in? May, you said?
May. So what is it? October, like 5 months in? Yeah.
5 months in. And, 4 years ago is when you sort of conceptualized this business, right? Yeah. And now here you are 4 months in. Yeah. To your business. I don't know. How do you feel? Where are you at? How are you doing?
Honestly, I feel great. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm like, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really an entrepreneur. Like, it doesn't hit me the same way it hits me. Like, I'm really a mom. Like, sometimes, like, I really have a baby. I have 2 babies. My human baby and my business. I feel great. Like I said, some days are a challenge for sure. And some days I can get a little discouraged, just not having a lot of clients right now. But it takes time, I know. But it's like, it can be discouraging at times. Like, well, what am I not doing right? Or how can I improve,
Yes.
But overall, I feel amazing. I'm so glad I took the leap of faith and went for it. And I'm in such a good place right now with it. I feel amazing. And I'm very glad. I'm grateful to myself for pushing myself towards it.
It's wonderful. Congratulations, Maria.
Thank you.
Again, I can just get so excited when people, they're doing what they really want to be doing. And, here you are again, you're blending both of your passions and you did it and you're telling us all about it. And in fact, you're telling us how you did it. So I so very much appreciate your time and sharing your story with us. I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to be inspiring so many future OT entrepreneurs out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you reaching out to me and asking me to be on your podcast. It means a lot that, number one, you see the value in what I'm doing, and then that you would ask me to help others, because being a newbie, it's like, I'm like, I actually have knowledge to offer and to share.
You sure do. And again, I saw your stuff and I was like, okay, yeah. She's the real deal. She's working so hard. I just saw all positives, and I just, knew right away that what I wanted to support what you were doing. Okay. So I got so excited when you were willing to come on the show. And again, now you're here sharing with the rest of us how you did it. Yeah. So if anybody wants to follow you, get in touch with you, would you be okay with them reaching out? And can you let us know how?
Yeah, absolutely. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, want any advice, anything. I am here in an open book. And so you can find me on Instagram at The Health Mamas, and that's MAMAS. I'm also, you can message me through email. It's Maria, MARIA, at thehealthmamas.com. I have a Facebook, but I don't really check it like I should. So I wouldn't go there, but you can also, I have a website as well. It's www.thehealthmamas.com. And you can message me on there as well.
Thank you so much. And I'll have all of that stuff listed on our show notes. And you're right. It is so hard to keep track of all the social media and the postings, right? On top of creating your exercise plans and being able to just make sure that you have enough time for all of those things. So how are you how are you able to manage all of your time with all of these sort of different ways that you're being split into?
Yeah, it takes a village, Patricia. I'll tell you that much. So my significant other, he's so supportive. He's downstairs with the baby right now. Oh. And so he just, he supports me with our son. Also, I have his dad is a videographer, so he helps me with my videos.
Oh, wow. Amazing. No wonder they look so pro.
So he's great with that. His brother is a photographer, so he helped me with the picture.
Okay, you've got staff.
I have a whole team behind me, Patricia. And so that's really how I get it done. Like I said, my one friend Joy, who is with the Mompreneur program, she still checks in with me and does some collaboration as well. So she helps me as well. So like I said, you can't do it on your own. You can, but it's going to be a lot. And it's going to be stressful. So it takes a village for sure.
Well, thanks again for sharing that important piece, right? It's about these little pieces, like how are you making it work? And yeah, you have support from your family, from all sorts of people, and you're seeking out all of those support. And you're also realizing when that support is needed, right? Just because it's just not possible to be able to do it on your own.
It's not. Yes. We're only one person. We need help.
Yes. So Dr. Maria Banks, thank you so much for, again, sharing your story, sharing how you got to where you are today. I wish you all the best and, look forward to hearing more about what you have in store for us in the future. I think your business is just a matter of time until, more folks want to collaborate with you. So I'm looking forward to, hearing more about that collaboration and maybe having you back on the show to talk about that.
All right. That sounds good to me. Thank you so much, Patricia, for having me on. I appreciate what you are doing for the OT community. It really means a lot, getting our names out there and showing just how versatile we are and how amazing we are. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. Kind of like you, I was a bit, unsure, like, okay, are people going to want to listen to this, right? And like you, it was also my passion. I mean, this is what I know. This is what I've done. So I've figured out a way to kind of blend the both. And here we are having fun, right? So thank you for that too. I'm having a fantastic time. It's mutual. The OT world is benefiting from it, but my goodness, I'm, every interview that I do, I'm just on cloud 9 afterwards, big giant smile on my face. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me and to have our listeners listen to your story and all of that good stuff.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of the Uncommon OT series. Connect with me at www.transitionsot.com. And don't forget to sign up to be part of the Transitions OT community. By doing so, you'll receive my latest compiled list of uncommon OT practice settings, the latest news on mentoring offerings, uncommon OT live events, non-traditional OT resources, and more. You may also follow me on my social media pages on Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you love this episode, head on over to Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts to follow, rate, and leave a review. I also ask you to consider pledging your support to my Passion Podcast project by being a patron on Patreon. It is very much appreciated. Sending big OT love. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.